Hi, my name is Alex Mills, and today I will be talking about the objectification theory. I'd like to preface this presentation with talking about eating disorders. Eating disorders are behavioral conditions that bring forth disturbances in eating behaviors, can be very serious conditions affecting physical, psychological, and social function, associated with distressing thoughts and emotions. Types of eating disorders: anorexia, bulimia, binge eating disorder, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, and other specified feeding and eating disorders. This is not a complete list, but it's a good summary of what we need to talk about today. Introduction to the objectification theory. The objectification theory was developed in 1997 by Barbara Fredrickson and Tommy Ann Roberts. Investigates the ramifications of living in a culture that highly objectifies women. This constant encounter with sexualized gazing in a variety of social contexts leads to self-objectifying, when a woman starts to view themselves how others view them. This theory focuses on women and the effects of sexual objectification. Two quotes help to give reasoning to why this theory focuses on women. And the quote is from a book titled Psychology of Women and Gender. The authors are Liss, Richmond, and Urchel. Objectification is generally framed as a female body being an object gazed at by others. Those others typically thought to be heterosexual men. Men also experience objectification. However, it is important to note that it is more common among women, and the results from it are more severe. The following quote helps to sum up the objectification theory. By elucidating the range of intra-individual psychological outcomes that result from being sexually objectified and the potential mechanisms by which this chain of events occurs, objectification theory has transformed scientific inquiry in the area of women's sexual and self-objectification. The model of the objectification theory by Fredrickson and Roberts. Sexual objectification occurs. This could happen in many ways. Some examples are unwanted staring, comments about appearance, and the media. These are just a few. A result from the objectification is that the woman begins to internalize this objectification from others. She begins to view herself as others view her. This leads to her viewing herself as an object. This is called self-objectification. Psychological consequences then arise. She begins to have anxiety regarding her appearance and become ashamed of her body. This then leads to mental health risks, depression, anxiety, and the main focus of this presentation, disordered eating. Here's a study that tests the objectification theory. Conducted by Tracy L. Tyka and Melanie S. Hill, it tested the objectification theory and how it relates to college women and disordered eating. The study used a sample of 460 female undergraduate psychology students. The researchers hypothesized that body shame and poor interoceptive awareness of hunger, satiety, and emotions would predict disordered eating in the present study. This study had many fascinating results. However, for this presentation, it is important to report that this study supported the claim that sexual objectification impacts women psychologically and physically through various routes. This is an element of the theory proposed by Fredrickson and Roberts. Also, the study observed that the pressure to be thin was found to predict chronic body surveillance and body shame. This then predicts the occurrence of eating disorders. There are many aspects in today's society that contribute to a woman being objectified. One aspect, though, is social media. Social media has taken on a world of its own. A Pew Research article states that 72% of the public uses some type of social media. This chart shows the percent of US adults who say they use at least one social media site. You can observe this positive trend regarding social media usage. It is important to note that this data does not include social media usage statistic of adolescents. Now let's talk about social media and body image. Based on the objectification theory, a study was conducted to examine the effects that come from viewing comments about photographs of others on women's body images. This study found that exposure to comments regarding appearances led to significantly greater body dissatisfaction. This study shows how social media can influence body image. In the scope of the objectification theory, it is important to remember the increased body dissatisfaction social media creates can lead to mental disorders such as disordered eating. In summary, eating disorders can affect someone physically and psychologically. The objectification theory proposed by Fredrickson and Roberts can be used to understand the cause of various disorders due to objectification, including eating disorders. Many studies have been conducted testing the objectification theory. One study has tested the effect of social media on body image using the objectification theory. These are my sources. Thank you for watching.